Welcome everybody to this installment of Live Your Dream Monday. Today I have with me special guest dreamer from Share Your Dream Friday, the great Matt Geib. How you doing today, Matt?
I'm wonderful. How are you, Edward?
I am doing fantastic. It's so great to have the time to catch up with you and to talk to you about what's been happening since you shared your dream on Share Your Dream Friday. So tell us, how have your dreams been coming to reality since you shared it on Share Your Dream Friday?
Well, I think the main thing, besides continuing with my missions project or my missions foundation, the main thing is that I've kind of come into is establishing and branding myself more online, and I'm just about ready to put out my first ebook.
Awesome, that's fantastic. You've been busy.
Yes, I have.
So we know as we move along towards our dreams, and we have big dreams and goals, that things like to show up. I say to sort of test us, to make us sure that that's really what we want to be doing. And maybe some things have showed up in your life in the last few months as you moved towards your dreams. Maybe you could share one of those or a couple of those, and what you did as they showed up in your life and how you moved through them.
Well, I think the biggest thing, and I've shared it with you, and I haven't shared it with a lot of people, and I don't want to go into necessarily a lot of detail here, but the biggest thing in the last week and a half, we found out that our daughter has come back into another ongoing physical problem that we've kind of battled with her since she was a child. And the first day, how did I handle it? The first day, we basically came home here, and I was a bit angry. Had a pity party for about a half a day, and then we said to each other, this isn't what we really want to do. So we got up and we just decided, all of us together, that we were just going to go on and incorporate what we needed to do into our lives, to do the best we could to help her out. But we were just going to go on and go on living with what we had intended to do and what we wanted to do. Well, you see, I think it's we wouldn't be human or we wouldn't be honest with ourselves if we didn't say that when things come into our lives, whatever the obstacle may be, whether it's a physical thing with your family or financial or whatever it might be, that it doesn't at first sometimes take us by surprise or set us back a little bit. And I think it's okay to admit that. But then you have to determine, I think like we did, what are you going to do with it? And we've been through this a couple times before. So I wouldn't say it's any easier, but we kind of know the drill. And we just have determined we aren't going to let that, as much as possible, hold us back from living our lives. And my daughter, who's the main one involved, that's what she feels too. So we're just going to live our life the best we can and go on. And I think from that for us, that's a big obstacle, as you know. If you can do it with a big obstacle, then the littler obstacles don't seem near as much. And it actually makes you more grateful, for your whole life in general. And if your car runs out of gas or it doesn't start one morning, that doesn't seem like a big thing at all compared to, like if you have a physical challenge like we're facing.
Wow, that's a big one. And when it's a good perspective. When a big thing happens, it makes the smaller things that seem big before not seem very big at all.
That is correct.
And sort of puts life in perspective.
Yes, it does.
And helps you really realize what things are important and which ones aren't.
Exactly.
Yeah. So when we have trouble, this in my life, when I have challenges prioritizing things or there's too many things, then I usually get thrown something big to help me to figure it out.
Right. It helps you, I think, see what's really important too.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, we also know that when you're moving towards having big dreams and big goals in your life, that you need something to help you keep on track and keep focused on those when things like what you've had happen in your life show up. Can you share with us a couple of the things that you do to help keep yourself focused through those times?
Well, I think some of the biggest things is I like to spend time each day reading good self-help material. I start with the Bible, of course, and then some other books like Think and Grow Rich or The Master Key System, maybe a half hour to an hour a day there. Some of the other things that keep me focused is I just love the internet age in the last, well, even 10 years ago, I'm not sure we could be doing this. Just meeting people like you, and there's a number of people. There's Gavin, who we both know, and the Cooks, and I could go on and on. It just seems like in the last 2 or 3 months, I've met a whole new set of people that I consider my mastermind that are going to encourage me, if I allow them to get where I need to go. So those kind of things.
So you utilize the online community and relationships to help fuel your desire and your passion.
Exactly.
To reach your dreams.
Exactly.
Wow, that's amazing. That's an amazing way to think about the community there too. I don't think everybody thinks of it in that way.
Right. Well, I don't know. I always have desired or wanted to have a relationship with people, and it seems like right now in my life I have more closer relationships with those who I've never met in person than people in my own community, and I guess I'm not going to try to force it, but I'd like to see that more of that grow in my own community, and I believe it will.
Yeah. Well, I see that even in my time, I'm 38 years old now, I can remember a time where everybody hung out on the street.
On the what?
Kids played out on the street.
Yes.
And parents hung out on the front porch and outside, and now even in the new neighborhoods and things that people are building, all you see at the front of a house is a garage and a door.
Oh yes, a lot of times that's true. That's true.
And people drive into their garage and close it, and that's it.
Exactly.
You don't see them till they leave in their car again the next day.
Right.
And kids are stuck inside, or maybe in the backyard or something. But
right.
It's, there's not that much. The online world is such an open community, in the social media world, the social networking world, to where there are no garage doors and fences and things to hide ourselves in.
Exactly.
So I hope for that in the communities as well.
Good.
And I think rather than just hoping for it, I think I need to just do something about it.
Well, I think with what you have going here with the Dream Project, that's a major step in the correct direction myself.
Yeah. Well, wait till we get the Dream Projects come into everybody's neighborhood, then we'll have some fun.
That's exciting.
Awesome. Well, are there any other words of wisdom that you could share with us, Matt, that would help people to keep on track towards their dreams?
Well, I'm going to share from my own experience, and you can interrupt me or add what you want, but when I was thinking of this, I have to laugh to myself because I've had these extra things that I've needed to do technical-wise with my computers here at the house, and I kind of put that off. We'd call that procrastination. And that kind of has been an earmark of one of the problems I've had in times past is procrastination. And I got busy with this morning, and right before we got on the call here, I got it all done. Good thing. But I think at 55 years old, I started my journey in entrepreneurism, if we want to use that term, probably when I was 25, and I went to that SOAP meeting. I think you know what I'm talking about. It's a very good company. But I saw the dream of being able to create a lifestyle for myself, and I've been somewhat successful over the years with that. Been able to make enough money on the side to pay a car payment and even a mortgage at times. But as our good friend Joe Schroeder says, I think one of the obstacles, if we could use it, we could list that and to be aware of, is don't let your focus be broken. Even if you can do, like I was in the corporate world, and sometimes I worked 60 hours a week, but be consistent in your business. And every day, even if you can only work an hour or two a day, if your dream is tied to an entrepreneurial type business, which I think most people that connect with you, it does have something to do with that, work on it every day. Today, for example, physically, I feel pretty lousy. My granddaughter's colds finally caught up to me. They usually don't affect me, but they did this time. But I'm still determined to do something. And I think early on in the game, I think I could have really pressed through and made more of a, I guess, financial freedom for myself, but I didn't realize this. And so now, 5-6 years ago, I broke my heel, and I really made a renewed effort, especially since getting on the internet, to do this even more so, to not be dependent on somebody else for a check, though that's a noble thing. I'm not downing any employer, but to be able to do that. And, 5 years goes by in the blink of an eye. My granddaughter is 6 years old now, and I can remember holding her as a baby like it was yesterday. So every day work at your business. A year ago, I joined another community, Chris Farrell membership, and he's a wonderful man. And I'm just going to say that. I think we're allowed to put in a plug here for somebody else, right?
Sure, you can.
Yeah, he's a
very your journey. It's your journey, man.
His gift is really he's really able to break things down, the technical things, so that a child could understand it. And I really began just a year and a half ago to really know that I needed to add one skill upon another. And first, I learned how to build a simple website. Then I learned how to use and create autoresponder messages and to use them. And you find, if you will just apply consistent action, not let focus be broken because you get a little discouraged or whatever, that soon you're going to have not just one skill, but you're going to have 4 or 5 skills that you can draw upon. And I think a lot of people, they miss that. There's so much coming at them, and it comes at me too, on the internet. Buy this program today, and in 3 days you'll make $10,000. Well, you and I know that's not true. But we still sometimes are pulled by that because things just don't seem to be going fast enough. So I would say to people, do something every day, build your skills, don't give up. Sure, the hard drive burns up, the car breaks down, but pick yourself back up again and keep going. The other thing I'd say along with that is fail faster. I feel like I'm so slow sometimes that because of one thing maybe of fear, another thing like I had these things in my office for a month, these things, different hardware to add to my computer system. I didn't do it till this morning, and I know there was probably a fear involved with that. But fail faster. So what if you put it all together and it doesn't work? Somebody will come by, or I can call somebody like you or somebody else and they'll help me, right?
Yep, there's someone there to help you at always.
The other thing I would say is, and I don't want to be critical, but sometimes I found, like I've been online again intensively since 2006, and I think I've had, sometimes I laugh to myself because it seems like I have 1 year of experience 5 or 6 years over. I know it's more than that, but sometimes we waste a lot of time. And please, I hope this isn't taken wrong. Sometimes you just have to, you have relationships with people, and you still remain cordial and friends with them, but you have to move on to where you're meant to be, and maybe that takes giving up a few friends that you spend as much time with and moving on into another circle of friends that, like yourself, I put Gavin there and the Cooks there, they know a bit more than me, so that's good for me. I'm a musician, kind of semi, so-so. I go next door, the guys have a country band, and they let me play with them. And, at first I was embarrassed, but by playing with better musicians, you become better. You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
And that's the same way on the internet. I'm not saying just diss those people that you first met or whatever, but sometimes you need to move on maybe and find some other friends that can offer you, and you can offer something to them, and you can grow because they stretch you a bit. So, and then the other thing you brought out the other day in a video, and I think it's so important, I'm adding it to my self-help routine, is really visualize what it is you want 5 years down the road or even a year down the road, and put yourself in that frame of mind with every sense, like your touch, if you can feel the sand of the beach in your hands, if that's where you want to be, or the smell of the ocean air. Those kind of things, I don't think we do that enough, again, because we get so, caught up with living life that we don't take time, as they say, to smell the roses. So those are some of the things I thought, boy, I got to get prepared for this, and I just didn't really do it. But in like 5 minutes, those things I kind of had written down. And the other thing I'd say is this is good. When you get in motion, I love the saying, you can't steer a parked car. Just get yourself in motion, and you can make adjustments on the way. And I think I've been afraid to do that because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But you can make adjustments on the way. I heard that when the space shuttle comes back from space, that they're constantly having to make adjustments all the time in order to enter and make sure they land on Earth. So there's nothing wrong in your business to make adjustments, to make tweaks, to check in with your mastermind, and they say, well, I don't know if you should be doing it this way, try this. There's nothing wrong with that. So those are just some of the thoughts I have here on this napkin, I guess, or paper.
Wow. Those are great. Those are great tips, Matt.
And the last thing is, like I said, I think it goes back to what I first said is, do something every day, and if it seems overwhelming, just chunk it down into 4 or 5 steps. Maybe do 2 or 3, then go take a coffee break and come back and do 2 more. I get so overwhelmed sometimes, when we got some of these projects to do, whatever it might be, even writing my ebook. I just wrote a list about 10 things that I had to do, and I just concentrated 1 step at a time. So those are some of the things. I hope that answers your questions.
That's fantastic. Thanks for sharing what you do and what you see as important for being successful and keeping on track towards your dreams and towards your goals. I'm sure a lot of people can learn from that and take some of the pieces of that and add it to their life too.
Good.
Awesome. Well, I have one last question for you, and I ask all of our special guest dreamers this question, and that's, if there is somebody that was looking and been watching, following along with Share Your Dream Friday, Live Your Dream Monday, and they were thinking about being part of it, but not quite sure, and they were to come to you to ask you about your experience and what you've done through this community and through this process, what would you tell them to help them make a decision of whether they should get started or not?
Well, I believe that it's been so key for me, because what's the saying, what you speak about comes about? And sometimes we're so afraid to speak it because that kind of puts us on the firing line, and I've been on the firing line before and failed, but that's okay. But I think I can't stress that enough. If you have a dream, you first visualize it and write it down, and then to really give it traction, the scary part, I think, is to speak it out. Because as I spoke it out to the world and you speak it out to me, there's a bit of accountability there. There is. And I actually think, though, that words, as you speak them from your heart, just like the infinite creator, he spoke the world into existence, that we have that same power to a degree to speak our own life into existence. In fact, I have to keep, that's part of the affirmation, I have to keep speaking my dream every day, or I think it'll kind of fade away. You know what I'm saying? So don't be afraid. Maybe you need somebody like Edward or myself to call and to encourage you to do it. I don't know. Those are just some of my thoughts. I feel so powerfully about sharing my dreams since I've met you, and I think it will really actually accelerate what people are trying to accomplish with their lives if they'll just share that in the community. I can't stress that enough, and I know that there's people that will come alongside them and and help them out to achieve their dreams and goals.
Wow. That's great. Thanks very much, Matt. Thanks
Thank
for taking
you.
the time to meet with us today. That's it, everybody, for this installment of Live Your Dream Monday. If you would like to become a special guest dreamer on Share Your Dream Friday, there should be some place around here, probably down here somewhere, on the side maybe, where you can fill in your name and your email address and get connected with me. And we'll hook up on Skype or phone or whichever works for you. And I look forward to hearing and being able to share your dreams with the rest of the world.
Great.
Take care, everybody, and have a fantastic day, and God bless.
Thanks. Goodbye.
Take care, Matt.